Hey, what is going on guys? How you guys doing? I hope you guys are having a great day. Today we're checking out the long-awaited PlayArtKai Final Fantasy VII Remake Cloud Strife 2.0. So I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for this review. I do apologize for the delay. But you know, I'm gonna start doing unboxing reviews again. So yeah, I hope you guys will really enjoy them. So if you guys want to check them out, then be sure to ring that bell notification. And if you guys are new here, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the figure. Stay tuned guys. Okay, so here's a look at the packaging. So yeah, this is the front of the box. We have a super nice image of the figure itself. And here we have the Final Fantasy VII logo, Cloud Strife 2.0. And on the sides, we have the logo once again. On the other side, it's pretty much the exact same. And here's the back of the box. So we have a couple of screenshots of the figure itself. And a couple nice poses. Very nicely done. It's a very simple design, but it works pretty well. So we have a super nice image, very high quality, and down here we have a bit of text. So if you guys want to read this, then by all means feel free to pause and read. And here we have the figure itself in a super nice window display packaging to showcase the figure inside the box with all the accessories. Okay, so this is just a quick look at the packaging, just in case you guys want to check it out. So yeah, this is my entire PlayArtKai Final Fantasy VII collection, and these are all the boxes. Yeah, we have quite a few figures here. I've been collecting these figures for a pretty long time. And yeah, I've always kept the packaging. I love the design, so you know, I just had to keep it. So yeah, there's a look at the boxes. And so here's the inside of the box. And right here, we have the figure itself. And I've got to say, this is such a nice looking piece. This is the first time that I've seen the figure, and I'm just blown away. I really cannot wait to check it out. But anyhow, we have a couple pairs of hands. We have the Buster Sword. Figure itself, we have this newly developed PlayArtKai stands, and of course we have the outer packaging and the instructions on how to assemble the figure. Alright guys, and so here's the figure out of the box. And so first up, I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching my videos. You know, it's an absolute honor to be making these videos for you guys and to have the fan base that I have. You know, I've been making these videos for such a long time, and I know a lot of you guys look to my videos for guidance on these PlayArtKai figures, so you know, I just don't thank you guys enough, and yeah, I really appreciate all the support. So you know, I'm gonna try my best to keep making these videos for you guys, and yeah, I hope I will do a good job. So yeah, once again, thank you so much, and I hope you guys will enjoy the video. And yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the Cloud Strife 2.0. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the head sculpt. And I've just got to say, this head sculpt is pretty insane. I mean, it is so much better compared to the previous versions of Cloud Strife that they've made. I mean, look at this sculpting here. It's so much sharper, so much more crisp and clean compared to the first release. I'm just so impressed. I would say it's got a pretty good likeness to how Cloud looked in the game. I'm pretty speechless. It's just everything that I hoped for. As you can see, the eyes are painted a very bright blue, and I've got a tiny tint of white in there just to really make them stand out. I also quite like the sculpting on the nose and the mouth. As you can see, the hairpiece, it's kind of made out of like a softer piece of plastic. There really isn't much paint in there. It's really more of the sculpting that really makes it stand out. As you guys can see, yeah, there's really no paint in there at all. But you know, I think it looks pretty good. I really have no problem with that. It's much better compared to the previous version, so I mean, I can't really complain. But yeah, there's a look at the head sculpts. I will give you guys a comparison on all the previous Cloud Strifes that they've made a little bit later on. But yeah, for now, there's a look at the 2.0 head sculpts. What an amazing sculpts. And here's a look at this gigantic Buster Sword. So first up, here we have the handle. So yeah, the Buster Sword is a lot different. As you can see, it's well, it may be hard to tell in the video, but it is much larger. It's pretty big. It's considerably bigger compared to the previous Cloud Strife Buster Swords. Once again, I'll give you guys a comparison, but for now, there's how it looks. It's also got a bit of bell damage. As you can see here at the top, it's got like some wear and tear, which I think is a nice bit of detail that they've added. It looks pretty cool. And moving down here to the chest piece. It just feels so good to make these reviews for you guys. I haven't made a review in such a long time. Once again, I do apologize. But yeah, hope you guys are doing okay out there. Hope you guys are keeping safe. And you know, I hope my videos can bring some form of entertainment or happiness for you guys during these difficult times. So yeah, just stay safe out there, guys. So I think for the most part, the clothing is pretty much the exact same. I can't really see too many differences here. I think maybe the details may be a little bit sharper, but I mean, it's nothing too drastic that makes it so much more different. The main differences is in the head sculpts and the buster swords, for the most part. But anyhow, here's a look at this. I'm really not sure what this is. Is it like a belt or some type of armor piece? I really don't know, but it is made out of a softer piece of plastic, just like the original remake Cloud Strife figure. And here's a look at his hand, the gauntlet piece, for all these nice details. Just looks amazing. So now I do think the sculpting at the legs and the detailing is a lot different here. It's got these different folds and creases sculpted in there. And it's also got like a nice wash, like this kind of bluish, grayish type of wash, which I think looks pretty cool. It's also got some new articulation, which I'll give you guys a look at a little bit later on. And here we have the boots, which are pretty much, I think, the same. And so here we have the side, a nice profile of the face. It just looks so much more accurate. And also look at the hairpiece. This is just insane. Yeah, this is by far the best head sculpt of Cloud Strife that we've currently had from Players Kai. Here's a look at the shoulder pads, all these like nuts and bolts sculpted in there. And here we have the arms, which I think is maybe a little bit different. I think the muscle definition stands out a bit more on this 2.0, but for the most part it's pretty much the same. And once again we have the hand and the leg piece. The sculpting here at the legs, you can really see the seam line. It's pretty intricately sculpted in there. And so here's the other side. And so yeah, you can really see in the hairpiece, it's really got no paint in there. It's pretty much just a flat base color. But you know, I really don't have much of a problem. I just think it looks really good. And once again, here's a look at his hand holding the buster sword. This is a gigantic looking sword. And here we have the side of the body piece. Yeah, I just love the design of Cloud. It's such a simple design, but you know, it's very iconic. Probably one of the most iconic looking characters ever made. So now, I don't think the detailing at the back of the hairpiece is that great. So it looks a bit messy. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I think they could have done a bit of a better job here at the sculpting. I mean, the front looks great. I've really got no issues there, but it's just the back. I don't know. Looks a bit funny to me. Anyhow, moving down here to the back of the shoulder piece and the actual clothing. So as you can see, he's got this tiny little circle piece which you can switch out for the peg holster to hold his buster swords, which once again I'll give you guys a look at a little bit later on. You can really see all the muscle definition sculpted in here, especially at the back. They've definitely done a much better job on the anatomy this time around. And here's the leg piece. It's pretty smooth here at the back. There's really not much details going on. Once again, we have the pretty exposed double hinge joints, which they can't really do much about that, so I'm not going to complain too much. And there's the bottom of the boots. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out the articulation for the figure. So first up, I'm going to take off this gigantic buster sword. It's a pretty tight fit in his hands, so yeah, you don't have to worry about the buster sword falling off. But yeah, there's a look at how large it stands. You can almost use this as a weapon. It's pretty big. Anyhow, let's take a look at the articulation. So here we have a ball joint at his head. Also have a ball joint at the neck. At the shoulders we have these ball hinge joints. We also have these swivel joints at the bicep, ball hinge joints at the elbows, ball hinge joints at the wrists. Where we've got a ball joint at the torso piece, ball joint at the waist. As I mentioned before, this piece is made out of like a softer piece of plastic. We have these ball ratchet joints at the hips, swivel joints at the thigh piece, double hinge joints at the knees, and these go all the way up, as you can see. And we also have ball hinge joints at the ankles and hinge joints at the toe. So yeah, overall, it's a pretty nice range of articulation. It's not much difference compared to the first release of Cloud Strife, but yeah, nonetheless, there's a look at the articulation for the 2.0. And so here's how he looks with the Buster Sword on his back. I think it looks pretty good. So yeah, it's pretty easy to switch out. You just change out the tiny little peg piece. And yeah, it is pretty straightforward, so you shouldn't have much of a problem with that. But yeah, here's how he looks from the front, and from the back, here's how it looks. So yeah, the little peg piece just fits into the hole. I don't think it matters which hole you put it in. That sounded completely wrong, but anyhow, here's how it looks. It is a very sturdy fit, so yeah, you don't need to worry about that. Okay, so I wanted to take a look at the newly developed PlayArt Kai stand. So here's how it looks. This is the first time I've ever seen it, and it looks pretty nice. I've got to say, I do quite like it a lot. I think it works much better compared to the previous PlayArt Kai stands, which I absolutely hate. You know those clear plastic stands which they had? They were just absolutely horrible. Funny story, I've actually never opened any of those stands for any of my PlayArt Kai figures. So yeah, I much prefer this newer stand. I've got to say, it's a very, very good stand. It really does hold the figure pretty nicely. It has this ring around the waist. It also comes with a smaller ring, which you can put onto the figure, but I just chose to put this larger ring around the waist, which seems to hold the figure pretty nicely. It's also got these little bolts, which you can adjust to tighten the stand. It's also got these holes in the base, so you can switch around the stand to whatever position you want, which I think is a pretty nice touch. I'm pretty happy enough with it, and I like the fact that you don't need to rip the packaging to get the stand out of the box. So yeah, that is another plus with these new PlayArt Kai stands. Okay, so here's a quick look at my entire collection of PlayArt Kai Final Fantasy VII figures. So yeah, this is every single figure that I have. I think I pretty much have all the figures. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at what we have here. So first up, we have the Cloud Strife. We have a couple Barretts in there. Couple of Clouds at the back. We have Sid, Tifa, Zack, Vincent, Yuffie, Aerith, Sephiroth in the back, the Hardy Daytona, and we have Red 14 and Cat Sith at the front here. So yeah, there's a quick look at all the figures, just in case you guys wanted to check them out. Alright guys, so here we have the comparison, which all you guys have been waiting for. So this is every single Cloud Strife, which PlayArt Kai have made, apart from the color variants, since I believe 2015. So yeah, this is every single figure. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we have here. So first up we have the original AC Cloud Strife. Next up we have the AC Cloud Strife and Fenrir. And here we have the original, I believe it was 2017 remake Cloud Strife. Next up we have the 2020 remake Cloud Strife with the Hardy Daytona from the first class edition. And last up here we have, I think this was 2021. This is the remake 2.0 Cloud Strife, which is currently the newest Cloud that PlayArt Kai have made. So now I just want to mention to you guys that I'm going to do a more in-depth comparison video. So if you guys want to check that out, then that video will be up next. But for this video, I'm just going to give you guys a quick comparison on all these figures. So yeah, without any further ado, let's go ahead and take a look. So for the most part, I think all the figures are pretty much the exact same. They just have very subtle changes, such as the paint job, the sculpting, or the accessories. But yeah, for the most part, they're very similar figures. But first up here we have the original AC Cloud, which is probably like my all-time favorite Cloud Strife. I also love the Cloud with Fenrir. That's actually probably my all-time favorite PlayArt Kai Final Fantasy figure. I just love that set so much. I would highly recommend it. If you guys haven't already picked up that piece, you won't be disappointed. Highly recommend it. But yeah, here's a look at the comparison on the head sculpts. These figures are pretty much the exact same, just with the goggles. And I also think the paint job is maybe slightly different. Next up here we have the original remake Clouds. So I do think the paint job and the sculpting is a lot different compared to the newer 2.0 Cloud Strife. As for the first class edition Cloud, I think there's a little bit of a change. I think the sculpting and the paint job looks a little bit different. on both of these figures. I mean, what about you guys? What do you think? Do you think there's much of a change? Yeah, let me know in the comments below which Cloud Strife you guys think is the best. And here we have the newest remake, 2.0 Cloud Strife, which I would say probably has the best head sculpt out of all these Cloud figures. I mean, they're all good figures, but there's really not much of a change between the head sculpts on the older versions. As for the body pieces, I mean, once again, pretty similar. I really don't see too much of a change here between the two AC Clouds. Maybe very subtle changes. As for the remakes, yeah, the bodies are pretty much all the exact same. I don't see any differences here. Not in the clothing, the sculpting, it's yeah, very similar. I think maybe the sculpting on the legs on the remake is maybe a tiny bit different. But as I mentioned, the main difference is in the head sculpt and the Buster Swords. Which, by the way, here's a quick size comparison on these three Buster Swords. On the three remake Clouds, I mean, you can really see for yourself how large the 2.0 Buster Sword is compared to the original Clouds. These Buster Swords look very thin, they look very small, which I never noticed before until I got this remake. But yeah, you can really see how big it is. So yeah, there's a comparison on all these figures, just in case you guys wanted to check it out. Just a quick comparison, but as I mentioned before, I will be making a more in-depth video, which will be coming up. But anyhow, there's a quick comparison. I also wanted to give you guys a quick look at how the 2.0 Cloud stands next to the 2.0 Barretts. So yeah, here's a look at how both figures stand next to each other. I mean, these are by far some of the best figures which Players Kai have ever made from the Final Fantasy VII line. I would highly recommend both of these figures. They've got such a sharp sculpt, such a clean paint job, and yeah, overall, they're the best representations of these characters from the game. And just in case you guys wanted to check out a little close-up on the Barretts, here's how he looks. I'm also going to have a review of this Barretts coming up this week, so I really cannot wait to give you guys a closer look at this figure. I mean, I'm so impressed with how this figure turned out. It's just amazing. And of course we have the 2.0 Clouds. If they can keep up this quality, then I'm going to be super happy. Let's just keep our fingers crossed that the remake Tifa and remake Aerith turn out as good as these guys. Okay, so because I know you guys will want to check it out, here's a look at the remake 2.0 Cloud Strife on the Harley Daytona from the First Class Edition. So yeah, this is how he looks, and I've got to say, he looks pretty amazing. It looks so much better compared to the original Cloud that comes with this Daytona. I mean, it's a much better figure. He just looks much more accurate on the bike. So yeah, I hope you guys like this combination. I think it looks pretty sick. Okay guys, so that is pretty much my review on the Players Kai Final Fantasy VII Remake Cloud Strife 2.0. So yes, this is such an excellent piece. I mean, if you guys haven't picked up a Cloud Strife figure already, then I would highly recommend picking up this one. This is by far the best Cloud that Players Kai have ever made, without a doubt. It's just got such a clean paint job. I love the sculpting, and overall, it's a great representation of how the character looked in the game. Yeah, fantastic piece. So yes guys, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to ring that bell notification so you guys don't miss out on these reviews. And if you guys are new here, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day. Take care, stay safe, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Alright, take it easy guys.